Welcome to Commercial Kitchen Chronicles, the podcast dedicated to commercial food equipment repair industry. My name is Pat Finley. I'm a lead master certified technician at General Parts Group and a certified Festa trainer. Our goal is to shine a light on what we believe to be the most interesting and rewarding industry a field service technician can work in. We love the work we do, and we are glad you're listening to this podcast. In this episode, Jason and I recorded live at AHR in Chicago. We had very special guests, Michael Provenzano from RIDGID and Jessica Slaughter from RLS. We talk about offerings for both companies and how they paired up with a 241 with RLS jaws to get you pressing ACR. Check it out. What's up, everybody, and welcome back to Commercial Kitchen Chronicles. We are live at AHR today. So I have Jason with me. What's going on, Jason?
Having fun, man.
Having fun?
This is intense. There's a lot going on for my first AHR.
So we are joined by very special guests from RIDGID. Michael, I'm going to mess it up. Go ahead and say it yourself, please.
Michael Provenzano.
Michael Provenzano. So Michael's a pretty cool dude. We also have Jessica Slaughter with RLS here.
Hi.
So we want to talk about the press technology and then, the partnership with RLS and RIDGID today. So what better group than you two to have on here?
Absolutely.
Yeah, thank you for having us, Pat.
So how's your show going so far?
It's been great. It seems very well attended. A lot of excitement here. It's been thrilling.
Yeah, it's been a really good show for us. I think Chicago is a lot bigger of a show, too. I just feel a lot more energy here.
Yeah, I think it's a good area for trades in the Midwest, and I think a lot of guys really come here and gravitate to it. So I think it's a pretty good location. Traffic and weather in January are kind of skeptical, but
Yeah.
Always.
So Jason's like a kid in a candy store. He's just like everywhere he looks, he wants to go see something. So I remember my first time. It'll get better every year. So
Well, next year, it's not far from my house. It'll be in Orlando, so
Oh, yay.
A little nicer weather.
always.
always. Well, it got down to 50 and he was freaking out the last week. So
What? That's like summer.
I know it's like t-shirt weather in Indiana.
Not in Florida.
So we brought you guys on to talk about RIDGID and the press technology. So I know this year is kind of a maybe another milestone for RIDGID as far as press technology goes.
We seem to have a lot of milestones lately. Last year, we celebrated our 100-year milestone. So really significant for us, really significant for our employees. We did a lot to celebrate. We had our 100-year wrenches. We launched a beer, which was really exciting and fun for our customers. We celebrated with our employees, and that was great. But 2023, or 2024, forgive me, is just as exciting for us, specifically because this is 25 years of RIDGID press tools in North America. So we've been in the press game for a long time. We made an acquisition about 25 years ago, and we brought it to North America as we saw a massive opportunity in the plumbing space. And we partnered with RLS here as they introduce fittings in the ACR space, and we're really excited to be driving that adoption in ACR as well. So really exciting year for us, and thrilled again to be part of it.
Sweet, yeah. So I've done some stuff RLS for a few years now. Paul's another huger guy. He actually went to college where I grew up. We kind of connected over that, and it's been a pretty good relationship. I like RLS's products are great. So you want to talk about how long RLS has been in the ACR press game?
Yeah,
And,
so RLS hit the market in 2015, and it was totally an idea that was formulated from the plumbing industry and their plumbing press. I mean, that had been around for like 20, 30 years at that point. And some of our engineers and innovators were like, why isn't this around for ACR and refrigeration and stuff like that? And so they hit the lab and started doing that process. Of course, with refrigeration, it's a lot higher pressures that you're working with. And so, it was really about 4 years of trial and error before we brought it to the market.
Sweet. So how many press connections are out there right now?
Yeah, so there is 18 million RLS press fittings globally. So we sell to 29 countries, United States being our largest market, about 60-70% of our business, and then Canada, Japan, Australia, and we just opened an entity in Europe and have a warehouse and staff in the UK now.
Wow, so you guys are growing everywhere. So
Yeah.
That's good. So what came about with the RLS and RIDGID partnership you guys have going on right now?
Yeah, for us, we saw the benefits of press in the plumbing space, and around productivity, around efficiency, around making the job safer. When you look at press, you're going to have up to 60%. You're going to be able to do things up to 60% faster. You're not going to require a flame, and that's what's really attracted us to press over the years, and really benefited our customers as a whole. Now, as it relates to RLS, when they entered the game, we saw the significant amount of testing they did. We did some testing with our tools. We look at their fitting, and they've got a phenomenal fitting there. The soft copper, the circular press, the long radiuses. They have a really great attention to the detail and to ensuring that you don't see that pressure loss throughout the system. And those are the things that really attracted us. They have a really quality fitting, and that pride and that quality really resonates with RIDGID, and the pride, the quality that we build into our tools. I also would say the innovation side of things, extremely innovative from a fitting standpoint. They took a really different approach to the fitting to make it appropriate to the ACR space. And we've continued to innovate over the years within press tools as well, and that's why we've been attracted to RLS, and that's why we've partnered together.
Yeah, I would definitely second that. We're in the fitting business, and it's funny. It's like how much goes into making a fitting, but actually a lot. And Pat, you've been to the factory at RLS, and you've seen it, and it's crazy what goes into this. And being a U.S. manufacturer too, and priding on our quality, it was just a natural bridge to go to RIDGID and have them help develop the jaws that work with our fittings and align ourselves with that brand. I mean, they're a pioneer in the industry and have really strong brand loyalty, and so why wouldn't you?
Yeah, I interviewed John a couple months back, and he talked about, your guys' lab, you guys are building just so you can test everything in-house.
Yep.
For faster, and, if something happens, you can test it right there, get it figured out, and you can get ahead of it before it gets any bigger. And, that's really cool that you guys are investing in yourselves, that, to do that in-house versus, outsource it. It helps speed up research and development and everything else, and that's pretty cool. So it just shows you guys really care about, everything that's involved, so that's cool.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. And that testing, we've had that capability for quite some time. The manufacturing aspect, so we manufacture a lot of our units, our equipment in Cleveland, Ohio, and we've made a big investment in that to manufacture even more of our pressed jaws there and things like that. So we're really excited about that, and yeah, it's been great.
So Jason hasn't pressed anything yet, so it'll be a little learning curve today. But so why is the ACR picking up so fast? Like, why? What's driving that
Is it
market?
picking up fast?
Just a little.
It's because this industry, in ways, it does have a lot of new innovations, but on certain practices and something as simple as joining your pipes together may be overlooked. And I think people are just excited for that. We're now in this place where technology involves like every aspect of our life, and it's like, why not, make something else more efficient that you can. And to be honest, it's just fun. It's fun to use the press tool, that. And when you're doing large commercial jobs and you're using hundreds and thousands of fittings on them, it's going to speed up your process so much faster. You're going to save money on your labor, save money on your time, and I don't know why you wouldn't do that.
My favorite thing about press, and what I hear from customers, is everyone that presses, they're skeptical at first.
Mm-hmm.
As soon as they do it, they recognize the benefit.
Mm-hmm.
And the
Yeah.
productivity that comes out from that. So that allows them to get on to the next job when their peers that are still brazing are still at their last job. Or it allows them to get home to their family earlier at night, which is also great as well.
Yeah, I hear your guys all the time in the field like, oh, you gotta prep the pipe so well. I'm like, it's the same steps you should be doing anyways when you're brazing.
Yes.
You should still cut, you should still ream, you should still deburr, clean the pipe. It's the same exact stuff you're supposed to be doing, but guys just don't do it when they braze because they think they just fill it in and get away with it.
Yeah.
They tell on themselves right there.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So, prep for press is utmost important when you're using the product. I mean, you have to do it, or you could possibly have a negative experience, and it really doesn't take very long, but it is important to do.
Yeah, I've put in countless fittings. I've only had one leak, and it was on me. Like, it was in this bad spot. I thought I had it deep enough. I couldn't get it. It was inside.
Yeah.
I was inside a little bit cooler, and I was trying to make it work, and it ended up costing me about 6 more hours. So I had to take a cap off the wall on the backside, cut a hole in the stainless steel panel.
Come on, Pat, don't do this to me now.
It was my fault. It was my fault.
I
It's
didn't
not
pay
you.
him to say that.
But no, it was completely on me, and I owned it. So
Yeah, I always tell people when I'm doing trainings and stuff like that, this is a shortcut. Don't short the shortcut.
Yep.
Take that extra minute. Make sure your pipe is nice and clean, and that you're doing what we say, because we're not, it's important.
I have a question about American jobs. It's really important to me. So could you say about how many jobs you guys provide here in the U.S. for?
Yeah.
So within Elyria, we have about 1,000 employees, I believe. We have facilities actually, our wrenches, for instance, they're casted up in Erie, Pennsylvania. I had the pleasure of working with them last year for several months. So about 1,000 employees, and we're always looking to expand on that and manufacture as many tools as we can right here in the USA.
Appreciate
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, we've been a Missouri manufacturer since we started, and actually our sister company is Cerro Copper Tube, and they're also just right across the river in St. Louis, Missouri for us as well. RLS is actually a pretty small company. I think we project a big presence, but it's pretty small. We have about 15 office employees and about 100 people working in the plant across 3 shifts.
Nice.
Yeah.
I have no clue how you manufacture that many fittings and grow as fast as you have with the few employees that you have.
Yeah, that's
Remarkable.
Yeah, we were up in Shelbina, Missouri, which is northern Missouri if you're looking on a map, and we were starting to grow so much. I've been with the company 3 years. When I first started, we had 4 regional sales managers, and now we have like 19 across. And so we've experienced huge growth in the last couple of years. And so we had to make an investment last year, and we moved our whole manufacturing plant and everything to St. Louis, right by the airport, and this brand new 75,000 square foot facility. And I mean, it is slick. It is clean. We invested in some more machines to keep up with the demand, and we're definitely have goals for that as well next year to keep investing in that.
if you ever get a chance, go to St. Louis and check it out because those machines are slick. Now you're not gonna get your phone out on that floor, but
No flash photography on the floor.
they will let you go through and they will show you how they do it. It's pretty slick how it works, and I could see, 100 people on the floor. I wouldn't think that they could pump up the stuff they do, but the machines they're singing. So
I'm sure they showed you when you were out there, but my favorite thing when I was out there was seeing the burst test.
Yes.
oh yeah,
So-
something blast.
They
That's
go up to,
everybody's favorite thing.
yeah, you see this. They've got a fitting rigged up, pressurized the system to almost 3,000 psi, and
Yeah.
the fitting doesn't even fail. The tubing fails first.
Yeah.
Yep,
Again,
so
it's remarkable.
when I went there, we did. I pressed a connection and we put it in a machine. They fill it up with water so it doesn't create a bomb in there, of course. And
Yeah.
They use helium and they pressurize it. And mine went to 317 psi. The fitting didn't let go. It's like where they brazed or soldered on the end cap. That right there is where the pipe compromised and the pipe blew up right there.
You said 300,
3,000.
3,000.
Yeah, 3,000.
Wow. Yeah,
Sorry.
yeah,
Sorry.
yeah.
Yeah, and at that point, I mean, how much more do you need? I mean,
Yeah.
I have fittings, like 1/4-inch fittings will go up to like 6,000 psi before you get your tube to burst. But one of the coolest things about doing that test is just it's fun. It's a great way to prove the quality of the product. But afterwards, we have a press gauge that you use after you press every single fittings to ensure that the jaws worked correctly, everything went smooth, and you pressed it in the correct place. It's a safety measure since you're working with high pressures. But after you do the burst test, we click that gauge back onto the press bands, and it is not moved, and it is still perfectly intact. So that joint is not compromised.
Yeah, it's a sight to see. So, like I said, if you're in St. Louis, make sure you go check them out. And Paul will walk you through, or Jessica will walk you through, and it's a cool facility.
Yeah, and shameless plug, we do have a mobile showroom, a road show, if you will, starting in May, and it's going to be going across all of America. And we are going to have a burst chamber on there so we can blow fittings up all across the United States.
I think, I think you need to film the reactions of people when they see the
Yes.
burst and then make a montage. That'd be
Yeah,
cool to see.
that actually would be a great idea.
That's cool. So, we've covered a few of the reasons why you want to use the RLS press system, and it's a fabulous system. I've used it all the time. I have some historic buildings at a college, and in order to get a burn permit, you have to go in front of the county, and it's like it takes like 4 or 5 hours just to get the burn permit, and then to come back and do everything. It makes it's a full day for a simple repair, and I've been able to. My son started with me last year. We had a leak in a walk-in freezer, and the line set up in the ceiling. I couldn't get in there. There's a little bit of hole. You had to climb through a light fixture, and luckily he's 180 pounds. So we went outside, and I put in a filter dryer, and I showed him how to use the tool. I ran him through a class real quick on it. I was like, here, this is how you do it. And I showed him the hole, and I gave him some tubing, I gave him some fittings, I gave him all the tools, and he went up there and he put it in, and it pulled down to like 300 microns, and charged it up, and was good to go. So.
Yeah, that's the great thing about press. It's still a skill. Brazing will always be a skill too. You're always gonna have that, but it does allow you to train someone really quickly on a site and set them up for success to just go and execute and not have to have that nailed down yet.
No, yeah, it's always going to be there. Another thing I like to do on sites where I have to get a burn permit, I don't want to do it, is if I have to change compressor, I will brace stubs in and then cap them off. Then when I get to site, I just, reclaim the system. I pull the old compressor out. I'll just press the stubs in, back into the system and then go. So
Yeah.
there's a workaround around everything. So you just got
Yeah. Yeah, it's just adding another option, like what's this job? What do I have in my toolbox, and what's going to be the best option for this time?
So, rigid is the name. When you think press, you always think rigid. So what are some of the benefits of, using rigid press?
So we've been the most innovative press tool manufacturer. One of the things that's unique to us is we have our engineers. We're out with customers. We develop those needs in terms of what customers want. Our engineers develop to those specifications, and we manufacture everything from beginning to end, all the way to customer. We own all of that. And we've been the most innovative throughout the last 25 years. We've been the first lithium-ion press tool in North America. And the plumbing side, we've had swivel rings, first one to do that. Last 5 years, we've launched 4 new tools. Just remarkable pace in terms of our innovation. And as a result, there's significant benefits to our end users. We want our end users to be able to put away that torch and press as often as possible. So that means that they need to have swivel capabilities so that they can access those fittings as often as they possibly can. We want as much uptime on that tool as possible. So with our compact tools, we've got 32,000 cycles before you would require service, a significant amount.
Yeah.
On our larger tools, we have no scheduled maintenance because that number is so high in our testing, where we've tested over 350 tools and done 22 million cycles of testing, that you don't even need maintenance on those tools. And we've installed brushless motors on a lot of our tools now too. That gives you more power efficiency and really allows that uptime, that productivity for that end user. So, innovation's key to Rigid as a whole across all of our categories. We've been the leader from all the way back to our wrench, drain cleaning, threaders. Press is just a portion of that, and there's no intention of slowing down on the innovation side of things with us.
That's cool. So, so RLS, you guys have the package for the 241. Is that the only one you have a package with?
Yep.
So, man, it's a great size tool, especially for refrigeration. I mean, what's the size capable you guys go up on the jaws for the 241?
1/4 inch up to 1 3/8.
Yeah. 3/8.
So basically, our full product line, the 200 series rigid stuff will do, and then
Sweet. So you can actually just order just a set. You can, if you already have a 241, you can get just the jaws, or you can just buy a whole tool and jaws and everything together.
Yeah, I mean, there's tens of thousands of those tools out in the market. And what we see is we see a lot of people already have a tool
Yeah.
from their plumbing experience, and they simply need the jaws. So they have the capability to just buy the jaws. Certainly have the capability to invest in the entire kit and get in the game.
Yeah, that's actually one of the great things about Rigid is um, we want to, like as RLS I've said before, but like we're not in the tool business, we're in the fitting business. And so when you know a contractor already has a tool, the last thing you want them to do is be going out and spending a bunch of more money on these tools. And so if they're already doing press and they've got their rigid gun, boom, you just need the rigid RLS jaws, you can go.
Yeah, that 241 is a perfect size for refrigeration. You can carry it around, you can go up and down a ladder with it. It's not bulky. You can get some pretty decent spots, so I like it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and you're going to get a lot of presses per charge out of that too. I mean, you're getting 160 presses per charge. And that's on 3/4. Smaller sizes, you get even more. So for most, almost all people, that's going to get you through the day, which is really nice.
Yeah. Yeah, so I do a little bit of install. I do mostly service, and I mean, I've never pressed 100 presses in a day. So
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I think I did do install. I don't think I'd press 100 a day. So that's great. Great capabilities there. So where's press going for AHR?
So for us, in terms of press, we're really focused on continuing to innovate. Things are always going to get smaller. They're always going to get lighter. That's always our goal. But our goal is also to pack as much into that tool as we possibly can to really add value to the end user. So, we're going to continue to take things a step further in terms of adding to that productivity, that uptime with the tool. We're going to continue to drive access to press points, to joints. Again, the more a user can put away that torch, the more it benefits them from productivity, from a safety perspective, and that's really our goal. So, again, 4 tools in the last 5 years, and that's not going to slow down. That's going to continue.
Yeah, every time I turn around, there's a new rigid tool I want to buy. And I'm not even a drain cleaner. I want to buy drain cleaning tools. So you guys' marketing's out there killing it. So, we're going to press a little bit here later on today, Jason, and you'll be addicted. You'll want want one. That's the bad thing. Once you do it once, you're like, man, this is going to save so much time, so much effort. It's definitely addictive.
Yeah.
So are you guys in the technical college spaces?
Yes. Yeah. We focus a lot on going to trade schools, local union halls all around us and trying to get in front of the apprentices and the students at first steps so that when they get out in the field, they know about it way faster. They show up at a job site, maybe it has press on it. They already are aware of it and know how to use it. So that's a really big push for us.
Oh, that's great. Are the teachers and those people pretty accepting for their students?
Yeah, they're trying to expose their students to everything that they could possibly be going on out there and set them up for success. So yeah, they're really acceptable and welcoming to bring us in there.
Awesome.
It's really important to Rigid as well. We support the trades through scholarships for individuals to go to trade school. Locally in Cleveland area, we have a training program where apprentices will go through 10,000 hours of training that we support. We work very closely with a number of organizations, including PHCC Connect. It's a really important relationship for us to bring that training to our customers and to tradesmen. That's going to be a focal point as we move forward. I think what you see in the trades is you see less and less people getting into the trades, and you see more leaving than's coming in. So for us, again, that productivity becomes even more important in that scenario. That training becomes even more important up front. So that's really important to us to help support the trades.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you see the guys have been in the trades for years, and they just look broke down and beat up. And it's like, if we could have given these guys tools like this when they were younger, they could have, prevented some of these issues and extended their careers and things like that. And, it makes a lot of sense. So I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
and it's still new. I mean, it's been around for the ACR for 8 years now. But you have to get the tool in your hand. And you have to get the fittings and you have to see how it works and do it yourself. And then you will be like, wow, this is actually a really good job. You're like, oh my gosh, this is easy.
I remember the first time I went to the supply house and asked for RLS fittings, and like there was an old guy. He turned around and just looked at me like, "What's that?" I'm like, "Oh, here we go."
Yeah.
I'm
no.
like, I mean, things progress, things make it, things get easier for people. It's just part of evolution. I mean,
Yeah.
it just is what it is. So
Yeah, that's the great thing about being paired with Rigid now too, is they have a more expansive reach and sales team than us. So getting with a brand like them is great. So it just adds value to our name, and they're selling our product too and getting into more distributors so that it's accessible, because if it's not accessible, it's not going to save you time and save you money. So it's great to be with them and have that joined forces.
it's two great names in pressing. So I mean, they fit together really well.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and for us, I mean, when you look at our salespeople, I feel like they're not often selling. They're out there
Yeah.
building relationships with our customers, and they're out there understanding, what are their needs, how can we help them from a tooling perspective, and that's really their focal point. And that relationship's so key to us. We talk about the loyalty of the Rigid brand. You see the tattoos that people have of a
Yes.
Rigid wrench, and that loyalty stems from that relationship to the brand. My father was in the trades and was really had that relationship with the brand and used that wrench, and now they pass that down to that individual. It's so significant to those individuals in terms of that relationship.
Yeah, that is so true. I've definitely taken notes from you guys on that too, because people want to buy from people, and we want to be your friend and we want to help you out. We just want you guys to be successful out there, and it's like, how can we make that happen? What do we need to do? And I've made so many friends in this industry that I genuinely call friends, and I think that's where we align well together, because that's what their focus is too, and being really honest and upfront and forthcoming on everything, telling you the truth, and just being your partner.
Yeah, it's a relationship. It's a partnership. It's not just
Yeah.
you guys selling tools. You guys stand behind it. You guys
Yeah.
work with individuals to make the stuff better, and it really is a partnership.
I look forward to the day where I see an RLS logo or a fitting tattooed on someone. So
Oh,
that's
me
gonna be
too.
fun. Yeah.
Hey, Kelly,
Paul's always telling me to get a tattoo.
I'll get in trouble now.
Kelly, come on.
She's not allowed to get tattoos. Some half their country get tattoos, so it's not happening. So, I've developed a really good relationship. Like I said, Paul, the president, he's
Yeah.
from Indiana. I'm from Indiana. He went to grad school in Anderson University. I grew up in Anderson, and we found each other one day on an app. Well, that's so kind of weird, but we found each other one day on Gary McCready's app, the HVAC Know-It-All app. I was on their post, and he's like, "Oh, you're from Anderson?" And he's like, DM me. We started talking, and the next thing you know, I'm pressing RLS, and it's been a pretty cool relationship. We send hunting pictures back and forth. I've given him bottles of bourbon. He's a bourbon drinker, and it's just we became friends. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll have business questions. I'll be stressed out. Like, hey, Paul, what's going on? Just chit chat with him. He's just a really good guy. So
Yeah.
the same thing with everybody with Rigid. I've talked to Becky and Maddie all the time, and just the people over there seem like family and friends. Like, everyone generally cares about the contractors they
Yeah.
work with, and if you have that relationship with the contractor, they're going to support you.
Yeah. Yeah. One thing I've had the benefit of seeing since I've been working at Rigid is really the dedication and the passion in our employees, and that's really reflected in the products that we make, and that resonates with the customers that we have. They have that same dedication, that same passion in the work that they do, and that's what's so fun to see in our world.
Yeah, and making a quality product and standing behind it. I mean, me and Michael are up here right now. We have our faces attached to our brand so much, and I am happy about that, because I truly know that RLS is a great product. Rigid is a great product, and that just makes the difference of it all.
Oh, that's for sure.
Yeah.
So you got any questions for him?
So I wanted to talk about the hydrocarbons, and when's that coming around, that technology?
Oh, he's going to ask you about R290, R600.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Is it a regulation thing, or you guys?
Yeah, and I'm not as the best person to talk about that either. But we are getting our A2L and A3 certification right now ahead of the time for the flammables coming out. And I think that is going to be what pushes press just over the line for everybody,
Yeah.
because I mean, why not? You don't want to. I know a lot of people I talk to them, and the flammability is not as great as it seems. But if you have the option to use your press tool and not even introduce the flame, I mean, why wouldn't you? So we have our fittings right now at a third-party accredited lab that's getting its A2L certification. Should be done by the end of Q1 and just be prepped up and ready to go. So
I know where some quarter-inch fittings are on some R290. It's not in a custom.
yeah,
It's at my house. It's
yeah,
so I
our
put it on my
fittings
house.
are already compatible with those fluids. The seal is everything about it. It's totally fine. But you know, there's like I like to call it marketing words. You know, there's compatible and then there's certified.
Certified.
So we're
Legalese.
yeah, and so we're doing that right now, getting that certification, and so that's going to be a big change in the industry. And I know a lot of people, that was a question some were asking us, is if I invest into this product line, am I still going to be able to use it in a couple of years when the A2Ls hit? And it's like, yes, you can.
Sweet, sweet.
Yeah.
So anything new from your guys' side of it?
We always have things coming out. So I will tell you that we launched on the plumbing side of things. We launched a new press tool last year that really is geared towards new adopters, geared towards people that may have 10 trucks but only 2 tools, that want to share share those tools currently, but don't want to invest in significant tools. So we launched a tool that does up to 3/4 inch copper and pure flow. And it's been wildly successful since it's entered the market. But again, we always have new things coming out, and I would expect that you see some things this year.
Sweet, sweet.
Nice.
Anything else for him? Well, I appreciate you guys taking some time to come on.
Yes.
I know it was kind
Thank
of
you.
rough with the traffic this morning, the ice and everything else out here in Chicago, but I just want to thank Rigid, for everything, and RLS. You guys have been more than supportive, trying to help Commercial Kitchen Chronicles grow and try to help us, spread the word on what you guys do. And,
Yeah.
we're kind of a little niche in the HVACR industry, but, we are HVACR technicians, so, and you guys support us, so I appreciate that.
We love what you do, and we're extremely appreciative of the opportunity to be part of it.
Yep.
Yeah, it's easy to support.